New York City apparently not off the table when it comes to the terror trials of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and the worst of the worst, his co-conspirators, you could say. New York Congressman Peter King is outraged by this. He is the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee and joins us right now. And you saw the Attorney General on Capitol Hill yesterday defending his position and giving us an update on what's with these trials at Gitmo. What did you garner and glean from the Attorney General's remarks yesterday about the trials being in New York?
Brian, it's absolute insanity. The decision they made back in November, the president and Eric Holder, bring the trials to New York, was the most irresponsible decision any administration has ever made. They never spoke to the police. They never spoke to anybody at all on law enforcement. It was wrong. Now they box themselves in. The White House has made it clear, off the record, that the trial is coming out. But Eric Holder, who is a real left-wing ideologue, he's just refusing to back down. He wants to keep it in New York, and it's time for the President of the United States to step up and assert himself and say the trial has to come out. He cannot allow Eric Holder to be defining national policy.
Yeah, he got roasted yesterday. Here's what the New York Daily News says today in their lead editorial. He goes, they say they can't figure out, is he a captain who just won't go down with his who just wants to go down with his ideological ship, or doesn't he know how to chart a new course? What do you think is the real story? That there is no plan B?
Brian, I don't think they ever had a plan B. Excuse me. Once they realized it had to come out of New York, they don't know where to put it. What other city is going to take it after it's taken out of New York? It does not belong in civilian court at all. It belongs in a military tribunal. The only place that's really suitable is Guantanamo. The president should have the guts to step up and say this trial is coming out of New York, it's coming out of a civilian court, it's going into a military tribunal, and it's going to Guantanamo. If they do that, they antagonize the left-wing base of their party. But it's time for the president to do the right thing and not be caving into the left. Brian, yesterday, at the same time as the Attorney General was testifying, we had the head of the Federal Protective Service testifying, and he says they cannot secure the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. They cannot secure it for more than 2 weeks.
Right.
And this trial will go on for more than 2 years.
Here's what Senator Schumer says. We know the administration is not going to hold the trial in New York. They should just say it already. This is a Democrat who might be majority leader in a year.
Right.
What is going on? Is there a rift between the Attorney General and the president?
I think there may be, but yet, there should never be a rift between the Attorney General and the President. The President's in charge. He has to tell Eric Holder what to do. And listen, I'm glad Senator Schumer's on board. I just wish more Democrats had spoken out. For the first 2.5 months after the President made his decision to put this trial in Lower Manhattan, not one Democrat said a word, just like none of them now is criticizing him for his policy against Israel. It's time for Democrats to come forward and put their country before their party. If they'd spoken out earlier on this situation in New York, we may not be where we are now.
Senator Lindsey Graham is dealing with the White House on what to do with the 200 Gitmo detainees and about these trials. Real quick, Congressman King, does he represent the Republican Party in this, and you?
No, I agree totally with Lindsey Graham as far as getting the trials out of New York. I do not agree with Lindsey when it comes to bringing the Guantanamo detainees to the U.S., to that supposed prison in Illinois. That's wrong, and I told that to Lindsey. He's a very honorable guy, but I think he's going too far.
Right.
He's throwing a lifeline to the Democrats. We don't have to do that.
Congressman King, you didn't have to do the show, but we appreciate you getting up and sharing your thoughts about yesterday's cross-examination. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian. See you on Park Boulevard.
Absolutely. That's Massapequa. Meanwhile, straight ahead, are Americans losing touch with